In the storm of life, where distractions rage and chaos seems to reign, the true test of character is not in the ability to avoid the storm, but in how we maintain our focus amid the whirlwind. As Stoic philosophers, we do not cower from disorder, we rise above it with clarity and purpose. The world will throw challenges our way, situations will spiral, and the noise will grow deafening, but the Stoic way teaches us that within each of us lies the power to remain unwavering, grounded, and steadfast. The essence of Stoicism is not in escaping life's turbulence, but in cultivating a calm, disciplined mind that remains focused no matter the external circumstances. Today we will delve into the Stoic tactics that can help you sharpen your focus, block out the distractions, and cultivate an inner stillness that allows you to thrive in chaos. If you can learn to master your attention amidst the storm, you will find that nothing can truly knock you off course. This is the Stoic path to not just surviving in chaos, but to thriving through it. Stay with me, for we are about to explore how you can turn the very chaos you face into an ally for your own growth and focus. It's time to sharpen your mind and strengthen your resolve. Embrace the present moment, focus on what you control. The first and most powerful lesson in maintaining focus amid chaos is this: embrace the present moment. In a world where distractions constantly pull us in every direction, where the future looms uncertain and the past weighs heavily on our shoulders, the Stoic approach teaches us a profound truth. The present is all we truly have. The past is gone, the future is unknown, but this moment right now is where we hold true power. The present is the only realm where we have the ability to act, to choose, to focus, and to determine our response. Marcus Aurelius, that great Stoic emperor, understood this well. In his meditations he wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It is a stark reminder that life is fleeting, and the only thing we can truly influence is the here and now. Every moment is an opportunity, a chance to choose how we respond to what happens around us. We may not control the chaos, but we always control our focus, our thoughts, and our actions in the present. Chaos is a constant. The world will never be free of noise, conflict, or distractions. But the Stoic knows that these external circumstances are not where our focus should lie. The more we give energy to things beyond our control, the endless concerns of the past, or the unpredictable future, the more we lose the only thing that we can control, our present state of mind. When we worry about what has been or what might be, we lose sight of the present task at hand. And when that happens, chaos consumes us. To remain focused, we must practice mindfulness, not in the way modern self-help books describe, but in the Stoic sense of being fully engaged in the present moment. This means resisting the urge to dwell on past mistakes or future anxieties. It means fully committing to the task before you, whether that's work, a conversation, or simply the act of being. It means choosing to be where your feet are without allowing distractions or external chaos to pull you away from the present moment. In practical terms, this means when you're at work, focus on the work. When you're with your family, be present with them. When the world seems to be falling apart, take a moment to center yourself. Breathe. Return to the now. The moment you decide to fully engage with the present, you reclaim your attention and your power. This is a subtle yet profound shift. Instead of fighting against the chaos, you stop trying to control everything outside of yourself, and instead, you control where you place your focus. Chaos may rage on all around you, but you remain steady, rooted in the present, choosing how you will respond. In this moment, you have the power to act with clarity, to choose virtue, and to maintain unwavering focus on what is truly important. When you make the present your anchor, you strengthen your resolve, you become more resilient, more adaptable, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. Every time you return your focus to the here and now, you fortify your mental strength, ensuring that chaos has no power over you. So remember, in the storm of life, the key to focus is not in battling the chaos itself, but in returning to the present moment, over and over again. This is where true control lies. Embrace the present. Use it wisely. Separate what you can control from what you cannot. The second crucial Stoic tactic for staying focused in chaos is learning to distinguish between what is within your control and what is beyond it. This is a central tenet of Stoic philosophy, one that marks the true strength of character. In the midst of turmoil, the Stoic mind does not get entangled in the chaos of the world around them. Instead, they focus solely on what they can influence, namely their own actions, thoughts, and attitudes. The world will always throw challenges our way, some of which we can influence, and many of which we cannot. This distinction is essential for maintaining clarity and purpose. To understand this, consider Epictetus' famous words, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This is the core of Stoic wisdom. The Stoic does not waste energy trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, they direct their attention and efforts only to the things that lie within their domain, their behavior, their mindset, their judgments, and their actions. When you begin to practice this principle, it's like clearing away the clutter in your mind. How often do you find yourself distressed by the opinions of others, or by things that have already happened, or by things that might happen? These are all things beyond your control, yet the mind often fixates on them, weakening focus and inviting stress. The Stoic, however, acknowledges that such things are not within their grasp, and so they do not waste time or energy on them. Instead, focus on your response. If a situation is difficult, ask yourself, how can I act with virtue in this moment? If someone criticizes you, ask, what can I learn from this? The act of focusing on what you control allows you to channel your energy into productive action rather than futile worry. When chaos erupts, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of variables outside of your control, but the Stoic chooses to focus on the one thing they can always shape, themselves. This process brings peace of mind. When you focus only on what you control, you free yourself from the anxiety of trying to manipulate every circumstance around you. You stop reacting impulsively to every external event, and instead you act with purpose and intention. By separating what you can control from what you cannot, you cultivate a calm, grounded presence that can withstand any storm. In practical terms, this means in the face of chaos, you refuse to be swept up by every distraction. If there's a global crisis, acknowledge it, but do not let it consume your attention. Focus instead on what you can do in your own life, how you can act with dignity, how you can work toward your goals, how you can improve your relationships, and how you can maintain your inner peace. The external world may swirl in disarray, but you remain centered in your choices, in your actions, and in your values. When you embrace this Stoic distinction, you stop wasting your precious mental energy on things you cannot change. You stop fretting over the uncontrollable, and instead you take full responsibility for your own responses. This clarity of focus is one of the most powerful tools you can have when facing chaos. By continually practicing this distinction, you strengthen your mental resilience, and you ensure that no external circumstance can ever truly disturb your inner peace. Practice mental discipline. Train your mind like a mica muscle. Mental discipline is the backbone of Stoic focus. Just as the body requires physical training to grow stronger, so too does the mind require consistent, deliberate practice to sharpen its power and resilience. In times of chaos, it's not enough to simply hope that you can maintain focus. You must train your mind to stay centered and clear, regardless of the distractions around you. Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." In this, he speaks to the essence of mental discipline. It is cultivated through challenges and adversity. Chaos, in all its forms, is the perfect opportunity to hone your mental strength. But like any muscle, your mind needs regular, intentional exercise to build endurance and fortitude. To begin this process, we must first recognize that focus does not come naturally, it must be developed. And this starts with becoming conscious of our thoughts. Too often we allow the mind to wander, to get lost in unproductive thinking, to be pulled in 1,000 directions at once. The Stoic practices of mindfulness and self-awareness are tools we use to combat this. Every moment you notice your attention drifting, gently return it to the task at hand. This act, though simple, is the foundation of mental discipline. You can think of mental discipline as a muscle grows stronger with each intentional act of focus. Begin small, maybe by dedicating 5 minutes of uninterrupted time to a single task. Then, gradually increase your capacity. The more you train your mind to focus, the stronger it becomes, until chaos itself will no longer have the power to scatter your thoughts. The Stoics knew that the strength of the mind determines the strength of the individual. A mind that is disciplined will remain calm and resolute, even when the world around it is in turmoil. One effective Stoic practice for building mental discipline is the use of negative visualization. This technique involves mentally rehearsing challenges or setbacks before they occur. It prepares the mind for adversity, so when difficulties arise, you're not caught off guard. Instead, you face them with the clarity and strength of someone who has already envisioned the worst and found peace within it. This act of mental rehearsal sharpens your focus because it trains your mind to stay composed in the face of chaos. Another Stoic practice for mental discipline is the use of journaling. Marcus Aurelius himself used journaling as a tool for introspection and self-correction. Writing down your thoughts allows you to clarify your intentions and focus your mind. It is an exercise in mental clarity and discipline, forcing you to confront your emotions and refocus your energy on what truly matters. Make a habit of writing each day, especially in moments of stress or uncertainty, and use this time to reel in your thoughts and actions. Ultimately, the key to mental discipline is consistency. Every time you resist the pull of distraction, you strengthen your resolve. Every time you return your attention to the task at hand, you reinforce your focus. Chaos may always be around the corner, but a mind trained in discipline will remain an unshakable force. It is in these small, daily acts of focus and attention that your mental strength is forged. As with any discipline, the road is not easy, but the rewards are profound. A disciplined mind can cut through the noise of chaos with laser-like precision. It can find clarity in confusion, order in disorder, and purpose in the midst of the storm. And as a Stoic, this is the kind of strength you must cultivate not only to endure chaos, but to thrive within it. Control your emotions, master the inner storm. In times of chaos, emotions are often the loudest distractions, sweeping us away with their intensity. Fear, anger, frustration, these feelings are natural responses to external events, but they are also volatiles that, if left unchecked, can destroy your focus and sense of calm. The Stoic way is not to suppress emotions, but to master them. This is the key to remaining composed, even when everything around you is falling apart. Epictetus, in his teachings, emphasized that while we cannot always control external events, we have full control over our reactions to them. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, he said. This simple yet profound truth is at the heart of truth. To be able to focus amidst chaos, we must learn not to be enslaved by our emotions. This means understanding that emotions, while natural, are often the result of judgments and perceptions we make about the world, and these judgments are within our power to change. When chaos strikes, whether through an unexpected crisis, an overwhelming workload, or a personal conflict, your first response might be to react emotionally. This is human nature. But the Stoic response is different. Instead of allowing emotions to dictate your actions, take a step back and recognize the feeling for what it is, a temporary state that arises from your interpretation of the event. Acknowledge it, but do not let it control you. This is where the Stoic practice of reflection comes into play. When emotions surge, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is this response based on reality, or is it a result of my interpretation? In doing so, you separate yourself from the emotion, gaining the clarity needed to respond rationally. This practice takes time and dedication, but over time you will develop the ability to process your emotions without letting them cloud your judgment or derail your focus. One of the most powerful tools for controlling emotions is the practice of reframing. Reframing is the Stoic technique of changing the way you interpret a situation. For instance, if something frustrating happens, perhaps a colleague criticizes you unjustly, or a plan falls apart, don't see it as a personal attack or an insurmountable obstacle. Instead, reframe the situation. See it as an opportunity for growth, a test of your patience, or a challenge to rise above. By altering the way you view the event, you change the emotional response it triggers. In doing so, you protect your focus and your peace of mind. Another critical Stoic practice is mindful detachment. This involves recognizing that while emotions are a natural part of the human experience, you are not your emotions. Emotions are temporary states that pass, they do not define you. By practicing detachment, you can observe your emotions without being consumed by them. Imagine that you are a quiet observer of your own thoughts and feelings, standing outside the storm of your mind. This perspective allows you to retain control, to stay calm, and to remain focused even when external chaos is trying to pull you in. Ultimately, mastering your emotions means refusing to be a victim to them. You recognize that emotions are the result of your judgments, and with practice you learn to reshape those judgments. The more you gain control over your emotional responses, the more you free yourself from the chaos of the mind, and the stronger your focus becomes. In a world of constant turmoil, emotional mastery is a rare and powerful skill. When you can face the storm without being shaken by it, you maintain clarity, focus, and resilience. Chaos will always be a part of life, but through Stoic practices, you can ensure that your emotional world remains a sanctuary of peace and focus, untouched by the external storm. Cultivate patience. Endure with composure. Patience is a virtue that the Stoics held in high regard, and it is one of the most essential qualities to cultivate when faced with chaos. In a world that moves quickly, where everyone seems to be in a hurry, patience allows us to remain grounded, focused, and deliberate. It is easy to become frustrated when things don't go according to plan, but the Stoic understands that the true path to wisdom and mental strength is through the ability to endure, not rush. Seneca, in his letters, reminds us that time is a great healer, but a greater teacher. Patience gives us the space to reflect, to understand, and to act wisely. In times of crisis, the urge to act impulsively is strong. The world is chaotic, and the pressure to solve problems quickly is immense, but the Stoic understands that rushing into decisions fueled by fear or frustration often leads to poor choices and more chaos. Patience is not about inactivity, nor is it about passively waiting for things to improve. It is about maintaining a sense of calm and discipline, even as the world around you demands quick responses. It is about trusting in the process, knowing that all things, including the chaos, will eventually pass, and that hasty decisions made in the heat of the moment rarely bring lasting peace. The Stoic cultivates patience through the practice of delayed gratification. In times of pressure, they remind themselves that true progress takes time, and that their ability to endure discomfort now will yield greater rewards later. This mindset allows you to withstand temporary discomforts and setbacks, knowing that they are part of the journey, not obstacles to it. It is the ability to maintain your focus and composure in the face of challenges, without becoming derailed by frustration or impatience. Another way to develop patience is through the practice of acceptance. Instead of resisting or fighting against the chaos, the Stoic learns to accept it as a natural part of life. This doesn't mean submitting to passivity, but rather understanding that life will always be unpredictable, and that true strength lies in your ability to remain steady despite external forces. Accepting the present moment as it is allows you to act with clarity and purpose rather than reacting out of anger or fear. Patience also means resisting the urge to control outcomes. We often stress ourselves out trying to force things to happen according to our timeline. The Stoic, however, understands that outcomes are not always within our control. Instead, they focus on the process, on what they can influence: their own actions, their own mindset. They trust that by doing their best in the present moment, the outcome will align in its own time. To practice patience in chaotic times, remind yourself regularly that things do not always unfold according to your will. Recognize that you cannot rush every process, nor should you. Trust that by maintaining your focus and composure, the right actions will present themselves when the time is right. This way, you can avoid the pitfalls of anxiety, frustration, and impulsivity that often arise in moments of chaos. In practical terms, patience can be cultivated by taking a step back before reacting. When things feel overwhelming, pause, breathe. Remind yourself that time is on your side. The more you practice this mindful approach, the more you'll realize that you don't need to react in haste. By cultivating patience, you not only protect your focus, but you also give yourself the space to act with wisdom, clarity, and strength. In the midst of chaos, patience is the Stoic's shield. It allows you to endure, to stay focused, and to keep moving forward with purpose, no matter how chaotic the world around you becomes. True strength lies not in rushing to the end, but in the ability to remain steady and calm, allowing each step to unfold in its own time. Embrace the present moment, focus on the now. The Stoics understood that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the only thing we truly have control over is the present moment. In times of chaos, it's easy to get lost in the past, regretting what has already happened, or in the future, worrying about what might occur. However, both of these distractions draw your attention away from the only moment where you can make a difference: now. To remain focused in chaotic times, the Stoic practice is clear: embrace the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, writes, "Confine yourself to the present." This is not just an invitation to live in the present, but a command to direct your energy to the here and now. In the storm of chaos, there is no room for regrets about what you could have done, nor for anxieties about what might happen next. The only real power you have is the action you take right now. The Stoic rejects distractions from past or future and centers themselves entirely on the present. When chaos arises, take a deep breath and remind yourself of this simple truth: you cannot change what is past, and you cannot predict what is to come. What you can change, however, is your approach in the present. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the enormity of problems that arise, but by focusing solely on the task before you, no matter how small, you regain clarity. This practice of embracing the present moment is not about ignoring the challenges, nor about pretending the world is calm when it is not. It is about recognizing that the only moment you have control over is this one. When chaos surrounds you and your thoughts scatter, return your focus to the immediate task. Take the next step, however small it may seem. By committing fully to the present, you avoid being dragged under by the weight of the unknown. A practical way to ground yourself in the present is through Stoic mindfulness. This means being fully present in whatever you are doing, whether it's working, speaking to someone, or simply walking. Focus all of your energy on the task at hand without letting your mind wander to what happened before or what might come after. When chaos arises, take a moment to reset and reorient yourself to the present. Acknowledge your thoughts, but let them pass. Refocus on the actions you can take now with purpose and clarity. By training yourself to live in the present moment, you diminish the power of anxiety and regret, both of which can distract and disempower you. You stop reacting impulsively, and instead, you begin responding with intention. When the chaos comes, your mind becomes a rock in the river, steady, unmoving, focused only on what it can do at this very moment. In practical terms, this means saying no to distractions that pull you into the past or future. Limit your rumination about past mistakes or future worries and instead dedicate your full attention to what is in front of you. The more you practice this, the more you'll find that chaos, while ever present, cannot shake your focus or pull you away from your purpose. You are able to maintain clarity and strength, not because you avoid chaos, but because you engage with it in the only way that matters through the present moment. When you embrace the now, chaos loses its grip. You begin to master the art of steady focus, grounded in the present and driven by purpose. The Stoic does not fear the chaos of life, because they understand that the present moment is where their power lies. It is here that they can act, create, and grow. And it is through the mastery of the present that they can weather any storm. Master your environment, control what you can. In the face of chaos, one of the greatest sources of clarity is the understanding that while we cannot control everything around us, we can control how we respond to our response. A Stoic understands that the key to remaining focused amidst the storm is not to try to control the external world, but to control how we engage with it. This is where the practice of focusing on what is within your control becomes a powerful tool for maintaining composure and clarity. Seneca, in his letters, imparts a valuable lesson when he says, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The chaos of the world often feels overwhelming because we try to control the uncontrollable, how others think, how circumstances unfold, or how the future will look. This mental burden adds unnecessary weight to our minds, taking us further from the clarity and focus we need to navigate difficult situations. The Stoic approach is simple: focus only on what you can directly control and let go of everything else. In practical terms, this means assessing the situation before you and determining where your influence lies. You cannot control how people behave or how events unfold, but you can control your reaction, your effort, and your mindset. Your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude, these are the areas in which you have the greatest power. When chaos erupts, it is easy to become overwhelmed by everything happening around you, but the Stoic takes a step back and identifies where they have agency. Ask yourself this question in any chaotic moment: what can I control right now? You cannot change someone else's behavior or stop the world from turning in unpredictable ways, but you can control how you approach the situation. You can control your response, how you manage your time, and how you maintain your focus. By continually redirecting your attention to these areas of control, you free yourself from the mental paralysis that often comes with chaos. One key Stoic practice for mastering your environment is the concept of limiting your exposure to distractions and negativity. In the midst of chaos, it's easy to get swept up in the noise, the endless stream of news, the complaints of others, the whirlwind of expectations. But just as a warrior prepares for battle by choosing the right weapons, so too must you prepare your mind by choosing what to engage with. Avoid unnecessary distractions, remove yourself from toxic situations when you can, and protect your mental space. You cannot always control external circumstances, but you can choose to step away from environments that only serve to heighten your stress. Another practice of the Stoic is the idea of creating order within your own psyche. Chaos often breeds confusion, and confusion erodes your ability to focus. By cultivating a sense of order in your environment, you provide yourself with a foundation of calm amidst the storm. This can be as simple as keeping a tidy workspace, having a clear plan for your day, or setting boundaries with others. The act of organizing your environment is not just a physical one, but a mental practice that reinforces your ability to focus on what matters. When you create order around you, it becomes easier to create order in your mind. A further tactic for mastering your environment is the practice of mental reframing. This is a powerful Stoic tool that helps you to see situations not as chaotic or out of your control, but as opportunities to exercise strength, patience, and wisdom. Instead of seeing the turmoil of the world as something to be feared or avoided, you see it as a chance to refine your character. This mental shift allows you to navigate external chaos without becoming emotionally consumed by it. When you reframe the situation in this way, you take back your power and your focus, and the chaos no longer feels like an obstacle. Finally, mastering your environment also involves practicing self-reliance. While we all rely on others and external resources, the Stoic recognizes that true strength comes from within. In chaotic times, you may not be able to rely on the external world to provide stability, but you can always rely on your own resilience and wisdom. Strengthening this inner foundation through consistent Stoic practices such as journaling, meditation, and reflection ensures that when the world feels out of control, you remain unwavering in your focus. Mastering your environment doesn't mean trying to control everything around you. It means recognizing the boundaries of your power and channeling your energy where it can have the most impact: your mindset, your reactions, and your actions. The Stoic does not waste energy fighting battles they cannot win, but instead focuses on building a fortress of strength, clarity, and composure that is impervious to the chaos of the outside world. In moments of chaos, remember that you always have control over how you engage with the world. You have control over your response, over your actions, and over your mindset. By focusing on these elements, you regain your ability to act with purpose and intention, no matter what external forces are at play. Through this focused approach, you remain steady and unshaken, like a Stoic warrior facing the chaos with calm resolve and mental fortitude. Accept what you cannot change. Let go of resistance. In the face of chaos, resistance is a futile battle. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that life is filled with things beyond our control: external events, the actions of others, and the unpredictable nature of the world. It is in these moments of uncontrollable events that the Stoic learns the power of acceptance. Rather than trying to change what cannot be altered, the Stoic focuses on embracing it with understanding and letting go of resistance. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "What happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time." This acceptance of fate, or amor fati, is a cornerstone of Stoic thought. The Stoic believes that everything that happens is a part of the natural order, and though we may not understand why it happens, it is not for us to control. The key is not to fight against reality, but to accept it, to meet it head-on with a calm and rational mind. When chaos erupts, we often want to fight it, resist it, or wish that it wasn't happening. The human instinct is to avoid discomfort and to cling to control, but the Stoic understands that resistance only creates more suffering. By trying to change what is beyond our power, we expend energy in a way that weakens our mental strength rather than fortifying it. When we let go of the need to control every outcome, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and frustration. Acceptance is not about resignation or passivity. It's about understanding the limits of our power and shifting our focus to what we can influence: our reactions, our actions, and our mindset. It's a mindset shift that frees us from the burden of constant worry over what we cannot change. By acknowledging the reality of the situation, we stop fighting it and instead ask ourselves, how can I respond wisely and effectively within this context? Take, for example, a sudden setback, a missed opportunity, or an unexpected challenge. Rather than lamenting what went wrong, the Stoic accepts the reality of the situation and turns their attention to what can still be controlled: their response. Instead of wasting energy on regret or anger, they choose to adapt, to learn, and to move forward with intention. This practice of acceptance extends to the actions of others as well. You cannot control how people treat you, nor can you dictate their behavior. But you can control how you interpret and respond to their actions. The Stoic does not take offense or harbor resentment, but sees the behavior of others as an opportunity to exercise virtue, whether that means practicing patience, practicing forgiveness, or simply recognizing that their actions are outside of your influence. The Stoic also practices detachment from the outcomes. It's easy to get wrapped up in how things are supposed to turn out. We set expectations and become emotionally invested in the results. But the Stoic knows that expectations are often the source of disappointment. By practicing detachment, they learn to enjoy the process without becoming overly attached to the outcome. They focus on the actions they can take today, not the rewards they hope to gain tomorrow. This frees them from the stress of worrying about what may or may not happen. Acceptance, therefore, is a practice of emotional discipline. It's about recognizing that life is unpredictable and that the only true power we have is our ability to adapt. You can't control the storms, but you can learn to sail your ship through them. The more you embrace this mindset, the more you become resilient in the face of chaos, accepting each new challenge with grace and fortitude. This doesn't mean becoming passive or apathetic to the challenges life throws at you. On the contrary, accepting what you cannot change frees you to focus on what you can change: your attitude, your actions, and your ability to respond with wisdom and clarity. By accepting the uncontrollable, you take back control of the only thing that matters: your ability to choose your response. In the heat of chaos, the Stoic remains calm because they understand that they are not at war with the world, but in partnership with it. When we stop resisting, we stop suffering. And in this acceptance, we find true strength and unshakable peace in knowing that while the world around us may be unpredictable, our response to it is always within our power. So, when chaos comes, do not waste time in resistance. Instead, take a deep breath, accept what cannot be changed, and focus your energy on what you can control. With this practice, you can navigate the storm with a steady hand and a calm heart, no matter how fierce the winds may blow. Focus on what you can control, prioritize your energy. In the midst of chaos, the Stoic understands the importance of energy management. While we cannot control every aspect of life, we can control where we direct our energy. To remain focused, calm, and resilient in turbulent times, it's essential to focus solely on what is within your control and channel your efforts toward those areas with purpose and clarity. This is the path of mental strength, and it begins with intentional focus. Epictetus taught us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This insight highlights the importance of turning your attention away from external events, which are often beyond your control, and focusing instead on your responses and actions. While you cannot control the actions of others, the external circumstances, or even your past mistakes, you do have control over your thoughts, decisions, and behavior. The first step in focusing your energy is to make a clear distinction between what you can influence and what you cannot. This can be a challenging task, especially in chaotic situations where everything seems urgent or important. But by filtering out the noise and focusing only on what you can act upon, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop getting distracted by things that are out of your hands and instead dedicate your focus to things that you can change. This Stoic mindset allows you to act with greater intention. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of things that need attention, you create a clear path forward by eliminating distractions and narrowing your focus. When everything around you is uncertain and unstable, the one thing you can always control is how you choose to respond to each situation. Focus on what you can control also involves setting boundaries both with others and with yourself. In times of chaos, it's easy to become pulled in many directions, especially with the pressure of external demands. However, the Stoic practice teaches us to say no when necessary, to avoid overextending ourselves, and to ensure that we prioritize the tasks and commitments that align with our values and purpose. This focused approach prevents us from burning out and keeps us aligned with our deeper goals. One effective Stoic technique to focus energy is the dichotomy of control. The practice involves making an honest assessment of what is within your power and what is not. For example, you may not be able to control the outcome of an important event, but you can control the effort you put into preparing for it. By focusing solely on what you can control, your effort, your preparation, your mindset, you remove the stress and uncertainty associated with things you have no influence over. By doing this, you begin to realize that chaos becomes far less overwhelming when you focus your energy where it matters. Each task becomes a battle you are capable of fighting because you are only concerned with what lies in your immediate control. This sense of focus gives you clarity, and it restores a sense of peace even when the world around you is in disarray. Another key aspect of focusing on what you can control is cultivating patience. Chaos often brings with it impatience, wanting things to resolve quickly, needing answers immediately. The Stoic understands that patience is not passivity but strength. It's about maintaining composure and not rushing into action for the sake of it. Sometimes focusing on what you can control means taking a step back, waiting, and allowing things to unfold in their own time. By developing this patience, you avoid impulsive reactions and make more calculated, measured decisions. Finally, the Stoic habit of reflection and journaling is an excellent practice for staying focused. By taking time at the end of each day to reflect on what you have done and what you have learned, you reinforce the habit of focusing on what is in your control. This exercise helps you avoid getting caught up in the chaos of external circumstances and instead keeps you focused on your actions, decisions, and growth. In chaotic times, it's easy to become paralyzed by the multitude of things outside your control. However, the Stoic path offers clarity. Focus your energy on what you can control. By doing so, you not only maintain your focus and composure, but you also build the mental strength necessary to navigate any storm with resilience. The chaos may continue to swirl around you, but by mastering your energy and focusing only on what you can influence, you remain steadfast and unshaken like a rock in the middle of a storm. Maintain your inner peace. The power of self-mastery. In the eye of the storm, when everything around you seems to be falling apart, there is one thing you can always control: your inner peace. While external chaos may threaten to uproot your calm, the Stoic knows that true strength comes from self-mastery, the ability to maintain peace within, regardless of the external noise. To remain focused, centered, and resilient in the face of chaos, mastering your inner world is the key. Seneca wisely said, "A good character is not made in a single day, and neither is inner peace." It takes consistent effort, reflection, and practice to build and maintain a peaceful mind. Life will always present challenges, but the Stoic cultivates an inner sanctuary that is impervious to the turbulence around them. They are not swept away by anger, fear, or stress because they have mastered their thoughts and emotions. The Stoic approach to inner peace begins with understanding that peace is a choice. It is not dependent on external circumstances, but on how we choose to respond to those circumstances. When chaos surrounds you, it's easy to react impulsively, reacting to situations with frustration, anxiety, or aggression. But the Stoic response is different. They pause, reflect, and choose to act with composure. This is the essence of self-mastery, the ability to control your emotional responses and maintain clarity of thought, no matter the external pressures. A key aspect of maintaining inner peace is practicing mindfulness, being fully present in each moment without being overwhelmed by what is happening around you. In chaos, the mind can become scattered, constantly jumping from thought to thought, from problem to problem. But the Stoic remains grounded, aware of what is within their control and what is not. By focusing only on the present moment, the Stoic avoids getting lost in the chaos of future uncertainties or past regrets. This allows them to navigate through the storm without becoming overwhelmed. Self-mastery also involves developing the virtue of temperance, the ability to control your desires and impulses. In chaotic situations, it can be tempting to act on emotion, to lash out or give in to frustration. But the Stoic understands that true peace comes from controlling the urge to react impulsively. Instead, they choose rational action, grounded in virtue, and free from the tyranny of unchecked emotion. By exercising temperance, the Stoic maintains their emotional equilibrium and prevents external chaos from disrupting their inner peace. In addition to temperance, the Stoic also practices gratitude, the recognition that even in chaotic times, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude shifts the focus from what is going wrong to what is going right. It helps you maintain a positive perspective even when things are difficult. The Stoic is not blind to the challenges of life, but they choose to focus on the blessings that remain, no matter how small. This practice of gratitude strengthens their sense of inner peace, reminding them that no matter how chaotic life may seem, there is always something to be grateful for. Finally, maintaining inner peace requires acceptance, the acceptance of life as it is, not as we wish it would be. This is where Stoic wisdom truly shines. The Stoic does not fight against reality, but accepts it as it comes, understanding that much of life is outside of our control. By accepting things as they are, rather than resisting them, the Stoic avoids the emotional turmoil that comes from constantly battling against the world. Instead, they choose to act with wisdom, making the best of the situation and maintaining peace within. When the world around you is in chaos, maintaining your inner peace is not only possible, it is your greatest strength. By mastering your emotions, controlling your reactions, and staying focused on what you can control, you create an inner fortress that nothing can shake. This inner peace becomes the foundation for wise decision-making, resilient action, and steadfast perseverance, no matter what challenges life may throw at you. The Stoic does not seek to control the world, they seek to control themselves. By practicing self-mastery, they become unshaken by external circumstances and remain calm in the face of any storm. In this inner peace, the Stoic finds true strength, the strength to endure, to thrive, and to lead with clarity, even in the most chaotic of times.